Season on the line, 4th and 11. Butka looking downfield, throwing. Incomplete, broken up at the 10-yard line. And Old Bridge is headed to the NJSIAA Central Jersey Group 5 Championship game.
There's one in the flat. Good catch that time by Ransom. Ransom with a lot of room. And a good block by Delonzo down the field. And Ransom is gone. 57 yards to the house. 2-2.
Swung on and miss. Strike 3. St. James Smithtown has done it. They are the 2025 New York State Little League Baseball Tournament champions.
Drops back, throws all the way to his right. Has a man down the field, and he's got him! First play of the drive, touchdown, New York Green Wave!
Sanioki's season on the line. Goal to go from the 2. Kyles looks to run with it. Pitches it to Sip. He grabs it. He's in for the touchdown.
The final 25, and they're neck and neck. Kane looks like they have just a dash of a lead. Salisbury taking first. What a race. Live from Great Kills Little League in Staten Island, New York, PDF Sports Network welcomes you to coverage of the 10 and under Eastern Regional Championships here on the field of Great Kills, where we are just minutes away from our opening game of this tournament between Capitol Hill Little League and Hughesville Little League. Capitol Hill is representing Washington, D.C. Hughesville is representing the state of Delaware. And that is going to be our first game here over on our major field. We have another game going on with Joe Calabrese manning the controls there. And our teams are getting introduced now as far as the starting lineups are concerned. So we're going to try and get those to you as well. Things came together pretty quickly here. So we have handwritten lineup cards here, but we're going to give you the first one for Capitol Hill out of Washington. They are going to bat 1 through 13 in this order. Leading off is Callie Smith, the center fielder. Batting second will be Rory Nolan, the shortstop. Batting third will be Skylar Miller. She's an extra hitter wearing number 12. Batting fourth is Catherine Spain. She's pitching and wears number 26. Batting fifth is Addie Holder. She's playing second base and wearing number 11. Batting sixth is Vivian Kumsky. She is playing third base and is wearing number 22. Batting seventh is Isabel Loika. She's playing left field and wearing number 3. Batting eighth is Alice Ward. She's an extra hitter wearing 00. Batting ninth is Ellie Harper. She's catching and wearing number 23. Batting 10th is Alex Emerson. She's an extra hitter wearing number 33. Batting 11th is Maggie Lombardo. She is wearing number 27 and playing first base. Batting 12th is the final extra hitter, Kate Stern. She's wearing number 17. And batting 13th and playing right field is Dottie Laurent. And we don't have a number for her just yet, but we'll get that. Rebecca Nolan is the manager for Washington, D.C. And for Hughesville Little League, they will be the home team in this one via the coin toss that was done during the managers meeting a little earlier yesterday. Batting first is the first baseman, number 3, Reagan Wood. Batting second, wearing number 24, is Allie Peterson. She is playing shortstop. Batting third is number 99, Blake Herbert. She is playing center field. Batting fourth, number 33, Ava Page. She's playing third base. Batting fifth is number 1, Aubrey Bledsoe. She's playing second base. Batting sixth is number 25, Lane Rollins. She's an extra hitter. Batting seventh is number 13, Harper Quaid. She's playing left field. Batting eighth is number 44, Willow Grote. She's an extra hitter. Grote is the last name. Batting ninth is number 6, Liza Wood, the right fielder. Batting 10th is number 7, Adeline Homburg. She's catching. Batting 11th is number 22, Yessi Portero. She is pitching in this one. So those are the lineups for now. We are going to break for the playing of our national anthem, and when we come back, we'll get first pitch ready for you here, and we'll be back in just a moment while our national anthem plays. All right, the great rendition of our nation's anthem has us almost ready to go here. Capitol Hill, the visitors taking on Hughesville Little League, team from Washington against the team from Delaware. Or actually, is that correct? No, Hughesville is from Maryland. I'm sorry about that. Got my signals crossed there. There are two Little Leagues named Milford representing here, one from Delaware and one from Connecticut. So that's a typo on my part that I'll have to rectify in just a moment. Like we said, we were scrambling here getting on the air for a number of reasons, lineups and cameras and all that good stuff. But looks like we're getting ourselves, little by little, put together here. But I'm keeping lineups on my phone at this point. And we are down a staffer as well today due to illness. So a little shorthanded day one, but we have two streams going on, and we'll have two streams going on for the better part of the day. There's a double header or two games going on simultaneously at 9 a.m. this morning, at 11:30 a.m. this morning, and then at 2 p.m. this afternoon. And then on this field, there'll be games at 4:30 and 7. This is going to be a long one here in this one.
Scott Skonieczny, Tournament Director, Adam Kananen, Official Scorekeeper, Matty P, Scoreboard Operator, Vincent Topolo.
Just making sure we got audio acknowledgement here, and we do. So we have Hughesville obviously in the field first, and we talked about at length during the baseball championships how important first innings are in these games, because they really matter in terms of getting teams off to a great start. And when the home team, comes up to bat with, a tie score, or they're down on the scoreboard, which was often the case during baseball, it creates a different dynamic for sure during the games. So, something to keep our eyes on. As our pitcher, Yessi Portillo, is dealing the final of her warm-ups, and we're going to get this one started with Callie Smith, who leads off and plays center field, about to step in the box. She was one of the participants in the fastest around the bases competition during Skills Challenge, and she was an actual finalist in that one as well. So one of the fastest players definitely in this tournament. She squares to bunt to start us off, and she lays one down, and it's going to head foul ball. Callie would have been safe by a considerable distance. That one kind of teetered back behind the backstop there, and that was the reason for the foul ball. But we get a sense of that speed and how Capitol Hill wants to use it. Swings and misses at that one upstairs for strike two. So the count will go to 0-2 quickly here on Callie Smith. She'll have to be a hitter here on 0-2. Portillo delivers high in the strike zone for ball one. So 1-2 goes our count. The 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed, strike three, and we have one strikeout to start this one, courtesy of Hughesville. And that will bring up Rory Nolan, the shortstop number 13, right-handed bat for Nolan. And she fouls that one straight back for a quick strike here. Portillo working ahead of the hitters. That's always a welcome sign as well. Coaches want to see that. The deal on 0-1, well high. Trapped down well, but that'll even the count at 1-1. Rory Nolan looking to get Capitol Hill a start. Lead foot on the rubber for Portillo. She deals once again up high, too high, over the eyes of Nolan. The count will go to 2-1. The deal here on 2-1, swung on and missed for strike two. Good healthy cut by Nolan, but Portillo got over the bat there. So 2-2 now the count. Important pitch coming up here. And that one is down low for ball three, 3-2. So the count will run full. We'll try to get you updates from our other field as we go as well. But a 3-2 pitch is down low and at the laces for ball four. So our first base runner of the game belongs to Capitol Hill in the number 2 spot in the lineup. And it will be Skylar Miller coming up to bat. Now with a runner at first, and we'll see how that runner begins to move with each pitch. Outside. That'll be a called strike one as they'll walk Nolan back to first base. May have to switch cameras if we get too obscured here with our pitcher-batter cam. Keep our eye on that. Meanwhile, an 0-1 to Miller is well high for ball one. We saw in the baseball half of the tournament how important base running was. Led to a lot of runs getting scored around the bases with errant pitches and whatnot, wild pitches, and then checkbacks to base that were mishandled. Led to a lot of runs coming home and base runners going around the bases fairly easily. That one was cut on and fouled off, so the count will even at 2-2 to Skylar Miller. 6-inning games here, in case you're unfamiliar. The home and away is settled by coin toss during the coaches' meeting, which took place on Friday night. Our count is 3-2 here. So another big 3-2 pitch upcoming. Portillo trying not to lose another batter. That one is outside for ball four. And another walk on the top of the first innings frame. And now we have 2 on with only 1 out. And that will bring up number 26, Catherine Spain. Going to try to help her own cause here. She's the pitcher of record on the other side of the ledger. That one's well high for ball one. Clean up hitter in a spot to clean it up here with the bases nearly full, 2/3 of the way there. First and second, 1 out here. And that one is fouled off and straight back 1-1. The infield is playing at normal depth, so if they have a chance to turn 2, I guess they could. Tough to do here at this level, but that's on the table as well. It could be an inning ender if Spain grounds one sharply. 1-1 and takes low for ball 2. Runners stay put. There's no limit to pitching, so we don't have a pitch count on Portillo, but it's working deep into some counts here. 2-1, swung on and missed, strike 2. Good healthy cut by Spain, just couldn't catch up to that one. And the count will run even to 2-2. Portillo would love to get this second out here via the strikeout if she can. She does have 1 already. The 2-2 pitch. And that swung on and hit weakly in the gap on the right side of the infield. The throw is in time. Runners will advance to second and third. Well played by the infield that time. And that'll be the second out with runners now at second and third. And that'll leave it up to Addie Holder, number 11, who's playing second base here. Meanwhile, a nice job by Bledsoe to get that throw over to Wood in time. The pitch well high and outside for ball one. Got to be careful here for a pitch that goes wild because that could bring home the game's first run. Capitol Hill threatening, second and third with two out here in the top of the first. The deal by Portillo is well upstairs for ball two. The first base is open, so that is an option here in case Portillo loses Holder. Capitals' number 5 hitter. That one is swung on high in the strike zone. Strike one. Good healthy cut that time by Holder. Addie Holder with a big chance here. She gets one in green space somewhere. Likely 2 runs are coming home. In the outfield, that is. 2-1 pitch upcoming. Portillo with an important one. Swung on and missed by Holder. Strike 2. Well, a big spot already here in the top of the first inning for Hughesville defensively, for Portillo in the circle, and for Holder here at the plate. 2-2 pitch coming up with runners at second and third. Just low for ball 3, 3-2. The count runs full. Didn't miss that one by much, and Portillo certainly wanted it, but that was below the knees. With the count 3-2. And that one skips off dirt, and that should be the base. And it will be. So taking her base is Holder. And without the benefits of a hit here in this one, the Capitol Hill team has loaded the bases here, and there's nowhere to put Vivian Kumsky. And that one gains the strike zone for strike one. So again, Portillo working ahead, and when she's worked ahead in the count, she's been pretty effective in this inning. Induced the ground ball earlier, but had the strikeout to start the game. Important to work ahead here. And with an 0-1 upcoming, she delivers that one upstairs for ball one. 1-1 will be our count. Infield is in here. Home plate will be an option. That one skips off the plate. Good job of handling that and making sure it didn't go past her was Herbert. Nice job as the catcher there to keep that one in front of her. 2-1 will be the count upcoming. Kumsky selective, takes that one on the outside corner for strike 2, and the count evens up at 2-2. That was an important pitch for Portillo. Two upcoming. Swung on and fouled off. A little late with that swing was Kumsky, but working on the timing here. Yessi Portillo in an important spot here. 2-2, 2 out. Bases are jammed without the courtesy of a hit here for Capitol Hill. And that one is on the outside corner, strike 3, and Portillo gets out of the jam. A bases loaded jam at that, and we are through 1/2 inning of play. We will step out, take a break. When we come back, it'll be Hughesville's turn at the plate, and we'll see if they can put up some offense here in the game's first inning.
This tournament would not be possible without the great support of the Staten Island Advance. Not only does the Staten Island Advance have full coverage of the tournament, but we are committed to covering Island youth sports year-round and all news close to home. Pick up the paper today and look for great subscriber deals now for our loyal readership. Visit us online at silive.com for news and photos of this week's tournament and all the breaking news on Staten Island, the nation, and the world. The news of Staten Island is the Staten Island Advance and silive.com.
Back here in the bottom half of the first inning, Capitol Hill loaded the bases on walks via the walk, but Portillo, Yessi Portillo, getting 2 strikeouts in that inning and a ground ball to negate the damage that was done on the base pads, and the score is clear here at 0 apiece as we go to the bottom half of the first inning. scoreboard going here if it pops up on us. There it is. So Hughesville, getting out of a jam effectively, will now get their turn here at the plate and the home half of the first inning. And it will be Reagan Wood,
Number 3.
who is playing first base and made that nice catch there on the good infield play, which is probably the best play of that first inning in the field. That was a tough out to make, but it was made. Now Wood gets her chance here, and that one is delivered upstairs for ball 1. Took a little off that one, and Wood was ahead on the cut, 1-1. Really deceptive delivery by Catherine Spain. Ooh, well up high, and that's over everyone, and that'll be ball 2 as that sailed well high. And that one, getting a piece, was Reagan Wood to make it a 2-2 count. It's going to take a little while for these Hughesville hitters to catch up to this delivery from Spain. And that one is cut on and hit. If it stays in fair territory, there will be a play, but unfortunately cannot be made in left field. And Wood is going to round first and get in easily at second base. And so Hughesville is in business early here with the leadoff runner at second.
Allie Peterson, number 24.
That play just could not be made in left field by Loika. Tough play in the sun, but that one hung up there, and she had a shot at it. And now it'll be Peterson at the plate. Peterson playing short here in this one, and she takes strike 1. The delivery from Spain, but moving over from second to third was Wood on that pitch. And again, if Spain sails one over the plate again, it could lead to the game's first run. Instead, that one's fouled off the umpire mask, and it's 0-2 quickly here to Peterson. And nothing would be better for Spain here than to get herself a K, leaving Wood at third base. That one's too high for ball 1. And Wood getting walked back to the base. Seen a lot of that. Base runners looking to draw that throw, and then anything can happen. That one too high as well, so the count will even at 2-2, as Spain will have to try to find the strike zone again.
It had good launch angles. It was flying. I don't play on one I used to.
That one a little bit high in the strike zone for Peterson, and that will be 3-2, so another big payoff pitch upcoming. Good job by Harper, the catcher, to walk things back here to Spain. Keep that base runner honest at third. Runner at third, 3-2 pitch. That one is cut on and hit on the ground at short. Ball was knocked down, but there was no play to be made. And Hughesville has themselves the game's first lead. It's 1-0 with Herbert approaching the plate and a runner at first base.
Herbert, number 99.
And that one cut on and hit in the air towards left, shallow. That'll be a base hit. And runner thinking about going to third, but will hold there. Peterson stays put at second. There'll be runners at first and second now. Still nobody out. One run already in for Hughesville. That time, Herbert did not waste any time. She was a part of the Home Run Derby, or the Queen of SWAT competition yesterday, and showed some power there. But this will be Page now up at the plate. And check swing. She did swing, but the runners have advanced now to second and third. The 0-1, that one on the ground, got away a bit, but no play to be made as the runners will hold. The count will go to 1-1. Nice job again by Harper. And that one is cut on and fouled straight back for strike 2, 1-2 the count. Hear instructions from the bench that the play will be at first base if there is one to be made in the infield. Inside, but too high for ball 2, so the count runs even at 2-2. And again, the walk back to third base. And that one too high for ball 3. So Spain missing high, and Harper again has to walk Peterson back over to third base. Payoff pitch. First base is open here. But Ava Page looking to get on. And that one too high again. Ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Still nobody out here in the bottom half of the first inning. 1 run already plated here for Hughesville on 2 hits and an error in the inning. And that will bring up Aubrey Bledsoe.
Second baseman, number 1. Aubrey
Bledsoe, second baseman in this one. Cuts and misses at that one, gets away. Actually, that was a foul ball as she got just a hair of that ball. Make it an 0-1 count. So Spain has been working ahead of some batters here. Just hasn't been able to register the first out yet. And that one is cut on and hit in the air, and that's going to go down the first base line, and it's going to go all the way back to the lip of the wall. Run scores 2 and now 3, and Bledsoe is going to come all the way around. It's an inside the park home run and a grand slam at that. 4 runs come across, and Aubrey Bledsoe, who ripped one down the first base line, it had enough mustard to make it all the way to the lip of the outfield near the foul pole. And just like that, Hughesville has gone from being up 1-0 to now 5-0 here in the bottom half of the first inning, and still nobody out. And Lane Robbins will look to get them restarted. First pitch is up high for ball 1. As Page will, Spain will take a moment to recollect herself there, readjust the masks. It's just a well-placed ball. It wasn't hit incredibly distant into the outfield, but had enough to travel once that ball landed in open space for Bledsoe. And how's that for Bledsoe's first at-bat of this tournament? 1 for 1 with an inside-the-park grand slam. Or do we call it just a slam at that point? Because it wasn't the grandest hit of them all, but it was effective. And there's a smoker right to the left side of the infield. And a well-hit ball that time by Rollins. That gets her on first base.
Now batting.
It's their 4th hit of the inning for Hughesville. And it will be Harper Quaid, the number 7 batter in the order, the left fielder. And now with a base runner to work with as well for her. Swung on and missed for strike 1. Teasing at first base was Rollins, but she stays put. The pitch, swung on and missed again. That ball lands in front of Harper, but she'll walk back. The base runner. 5 runs on 4 hits in this inning for Hughesville. And there's a bouncer that Harper's able to control. Rollins has to walk back to first base again, and the count goes to 2-1. Harper's been very busy as the catcher here, trying to keep the base runners honest in this one. The pitch up high, sails for ball 3. 3-1 will be our count. And I have a 3-1 count. Oh no, it's actually 2-2, so our folks in the press box had it right. 2-2 pitch upcoming. Dropped high for ball 3. And Spain gets the explanation as well. Where was that pitch? And home plate umpire doing well to give the instructions. A little too high. And that one is well high for ball 4. And so we'll have another base runner on here via the walk And with still nobody out, Rollins will move over to second, Quaid at first,
Extra hitter number 44.
and Willow Grote will
44.
be our batter. So Willow trying to keep the train moving here. She's the 8th hitter in the lineup. No one's registered an out yet, and sees that one travel high for ball 1. When Spain has gotten that pitch to drop, it's been pretty effective, but it's held up there high for the most part, and that's what's gotten her into trouble. And there's a swing. It got past Harper, however. That's a live ball, and the base runners will move over one. So Rollins moves over to third base, and Quaid moves over to second. That was a swing and a miss, however, so the count runs even at 1-1. There's a healthy swing. Once again, the ball gets away from Harper, but this time the runners stay put, and our count will run to 1-2. So Grote. Big spot here. Smokes one up the middle of the outfield. That will score 1. And Hughesville now takes a 6-0 lead on their 5th hit of the inning. And they will have runners at the corners. Good piece of 2-strike hitting that time by Grote. And it'll be Wood, the batter. The right fielder represents the number 9 hitter in the order. And potentially damage still to be done. There's a healthy swing, and as the ball gets away from Harper, Grote will take second base easily and move over. Still nobody out here with runners at second and third. That one travels too high for ball 1. Spain with the 1-1 delivery. Healthy cut, strike 2. Spain's starting to get those pitches down a little bit. It's been more effective here, but still looking to register her first out. Wood all the way up in the batter's box. The pitch swung on and hit weakly back to Spain. She knocks it down. The throw to first is not in time. 1 run will score, and the base runners will move along and will stay at first and third. I'm going to rule that an infield hit. But our score is now 7-0.
Number 7. Adeline Homburg.
And it will be
Number 7.
Adeline Homburg, the catcher, had a very busy top of the first inning as well. That one goes high, but taking second base will be Wood rather easily, so that'll move runners at second and third now. And a 1-0 count upcoming. The pitch sails high again, 2-0. Big inning, and it's still going. There's a cut, but it's fouled off on the third base side for strike 1. Count will be 2-1 upcoming. Once again, 7 runs on 6 hits in this inning for Hughesville. It's too early right now to talk about the run rule, but certainly if Hughesville continues to get the barrage of runs here, that will be a reality sooner rather than later in this one. Game will have to go at least 3 innings in that case. There's a big cut and a swing. It got away from Harper, and the tag not applied in time. They are able to race home and get the run in. And that will leave a runner at third base and a payoff pitch upcoming. So Hughesville taking advantage on the base pads as well. That one up high and too high for ball 4. And so that'll put runners at the corners now, and officially Hughesville will have batted around here.
Pitcher number 22. Yessie Portillo.
Portillo, the batter, she's the last one in the order. And that one skips in front of Harper. The base runner will move over to second base. Homburg. So Portillo now at second base. That one hit weakly towards short. The play is at first. Catch is made for the first out of the bottom half of the inning, but Hughesville will score their 9th run. And moving over to third base in the process will be Homburg.
Reagan
But
Wood.
the all-important first out registered there by Capitol Hill. And Catherine Spain will get a talking to as well. The infield, the entirety of the infield in now here to conference inside the circle. Our score is 9-0. 9 runs on 6 hits for Hughesville in this bottom half of the first inning. Over on our other field, Bullskin has themselves a 4-0 lead over Milford in the bottom of the first inning of that one. No outs as well there. So after the discussion, we have a runner at third base with 1 out. And officially the top of the order, Reagan Wood, is back up at the plate. There's a couple of bouncers in for ball 1, as Spain misses badly on that one. There's a healthy cut, but it's fouled straight back, and the count will run even at 1-1. This game part of a quintuple header here on this field today. First 3 will be part of Mid-Atlantic play. The second 2 will be part of New England play. There's a healthy cut. It got away from Harper, but runner holds at third. So again, first 3 on this field and the other 3 on Major Field, all Mid-Atlantic games. There's only 3 New England teams that are represented here during this tournament, so they will play the final 2 games of this one. But all 3 teams will have played 1 game apiece in the New England. 2 games apiece for the Mid-Atlantic teams, as that one is fouled straight up. 2-2 will remain our count. Again, no pitch count is taken here for 10U softball. Pitchers can go as long as their managers wish, as long as they can. There's a cut, strike 3. And that'll be the second out, registered by Spain. A good one there via the strikeout.
Shortstop, number 24.
We'll have ourselves
Number 24.
a 2-out game here with Allie Peterson at the plate for the second time in this inning. That's a healthy cut towards short. Good scoop at short. And that, unfortunately, sails a little bit high with the throw. And that'll bring in the 10th run as well.
Now back, center fielder, number 99.
And instead of a runner at third, we'll have a runner at first with Blake Herbert up at bat. And that one swung out in front of it for strike 1 as she fouls it off the third base side. 10 big runs in this inning, still with 6 hits is Hughesville. There have been a couple of errors in the inning as well. And there's a hot shot that goes through the left side of the infield for Hughesville's 7th hit of the inning. And it'll move runners to first and second.
Now back, third baseman, number 33.
And Ava Page will be our batter, the third baseman. Sees that one high. Base runners stay where they are for now. And we'll have a 1-0 count to Page coming up. That one up high, 2-0. As Spain misses again. That one well high for 3-0. And now our base runners will move. And we'll have runners at first and third now. A 3-0 pitch upcoming. And that one is too high for ball 4. So the bases will load here with 2 out in the bottom half of the first inning. A long one out there in the field for Capitol Hill. And Hughesville having some fun at the plate now. And it will be Aubrey Bledsoe.
Aubrey Bledsoe.
Bledsoe had the inside the park grand slam, if you will. With the bases loaded last time, she was able to put one into open green in right field on a ball that traveled all the way to the lip of the outfield wall, and she was able to come all the way home. That time is cut right back to Spain. The play at home is made, and there is our elusive third out of the inning. But Hughesville does plenty of damage there in their turn of the first. They scatter 10 runs on 7 hits. There were 2 errors in the inning as well. And we've reached the end of 1 complete. Our score is 10-0, Hughesville.
Awards and Trophy Center is proud to sponsor this week's New York State Little League Championship. Located at 1600 Highland Boulevard on Staten Island, we pride ourselves in not only building trophies, but building relationships as we service our community and treat you like family. Your event and its achievements deserve the best. That's why Country Awards and Trophy Center is ready to work with all of our clients to make your event a memorable one, with awards, trophies, and gifts that make a lasting impression. Come see why we love our customers and they love us. Visit us today.
We are back here live from Great Kills Little League in Staten Island, New York, home of the 10U Eastern Regional Tournament here in our softball division. And it is Hughesville with a 10-0 lead at the end of 1 inning of play.
You hit it, not even to the short.
All right, making a few fixes to our scoreboard here. Making sure everything is copacetic and looking good.
Down batting, number 22. Number 3, left fielder, Izzy Boyko, number 3.
All right, so it will be Izzy Loika, our first batter here to start the 2nd inning. And that one is cut on upstairs for strike 1. As now we are officially back on our scoreboard here, and actually we'll have an 0-2 pitch coming up, not a 1-1. Yeah, a little technical difficulties there, a little bit of a blip, but we're back. There's a good, healthy cut right side. Nice play at second base, and the catch and throw is made for the first out. Good overall play, good contact on that by Loika, but a nice turn in the infield that time. And a good job that time by Bledsoe to field clean and throw it over to Wood, who made the nice completion of the play. This will be Alice Ward now, the batter. And she takes that one outside for ball 1. Again, the run rule here in 10U softball, 15 after 3 innings would halt the game early. A 10-run lead at the end of 4 does it as well, as we have a swing and a miss. So obviously for Capitol Hill, they'll have to chip away and chop away at this deficit that they're in, and they'll have to do it 1 hit or 1 base runner at a time. That one is downstairs for ball 2, 2-1, as Portillo is now down for the first time in the count this inning. That one well high, but offered at, and strike 2. Unable to lay off was Alice Ward that time, as that pitch looked meaty up in the strike zone. The pitch swung on and hit sharply down the first base line, but a good job there to field clean, and the play is made for the second out of the top of the second inning. Couple of nice plays by Reagan Wood at first base. First on the catch and on the completion of that play and the putout. Inside corner, strike one. The first pitch against Ellie Harper. Harper had a very busy bottom half of the first inning at catcher. Chance to help her cause. And that's swung on late for strike two. 0-2 will be our count. And Portillo, one strike away from heading right back into the dugout in a 1-2-3 second inning. That one, however, high and outside, and wastes that one for ball one. Bullskin has opened up a 7-0 lead on their field, still in the first inning. As there's a called strike three on the outside corner, and it is a 1-2-3 inning for Portillo and Hughesville in a game that they are leading 10-0. They'll have their cuts here in the bottom half of the second inning coming up after this short break. Stay with us.
New York State Little League Championship is proud to have Dave & Buster's as a proud sponsor. Where are you going after the game? There's only one place with delicious food, ice-cold drinks, games on the big screen, and fun for the whole family. Food and drink specials are available all week with the latest video games and the biggest arcade on the island. Redeem tokens for great prizes and come back often because Dave & Buster's is the place to be for game day and all the days in between. Turn on the fun with Dave & Buster's on Staten Island.
We're back here live from Great Hills Little League, getting set for the bottom of the second inning, where Hughesville Little League from Maryland is up on top of Capitol Hill, 10-0 here after a huge first inning where they scattered 7 hits in the frame, including a bases-clearing home inside the park home run by Aubrey Bledsoe, who I believe made the final out of the first inning as well, as she batted twice in that inning. And it'll be Lane Rollins and the 6, 7, and 8 hitters at the least coming up here for Hughesville in this inning. All will get their second look at Catherine Spain, who works her second inning inside the circle. And again, over on the other side of the ledger, Bullskin has an 8-0 lead over Milford, and the game being played at the major field. There's 2 outs there in the bottom of the first inning still, so that frame continues for Bullskin, the team out of PA. Milford, there are 2 Milford Little Leagues. The one opposite us is from Delaware. There's another Milford Little League from Connecticut being represented here in this Eastern Regional Tournament. A couple of Mid-Atlantic teams on each of these fields here this morning. Same will hold true at 11:30 and at 2 p.m. And then we'll have the New England bracket a little later on at 4:30 and 7 o'clock this evening. Part of 5 straight games that are happening here. My name is David Pizzuto. Thank you for joining me here on this field. Joe Calabrese and Alex Paramithis are on the opposite side on the major field. Pitch by Spain, offered at and fouled back by Rollins, so the count will go to 0-2. So Spain ahead of the count, and that one is swung on and hit sharply towards short. It takes a bounce, but Rollins will earn on via the infield hit. And we have a quick base runner on here for Hughesville.
Left fielder number 13, Harper Quaid, number 13.
Oh, and that one caught a piece of Quaid's upper arm, and so she will take the base over to first, and that'll move Rollins over to second base. So Spain, who got ahead of Rollins 0-2, gives up the infield hit and now hits Quaid. And Grote now with a chance with 2 runners on. Sees that one skip away from Harper. The runners hold at first and second. And Spain is behind in the count, 1-0. Took that one a little bit off. Harper is able to knock it down and walks it back over. And the count will go to 2-0. There's one cut on down the first baseline. It hit off of the bag. An unfortunate bounce, but it will load the bases for Hughesville.
Now batting, right fielder number 6, Lila Wood.
And so the bases will be loaded with nobody out. Unfortunate turn that time as that ball stayed in and hit off the first base itself, and there was no play to be made. There's one that bounces in on Harper for ball 1, 1-0. The wind by Spain up high and settled there for ball 2. Wood is the batter with Rollins at third, Quaid at second, and that one is put in play. It's a slow roller. The play at home is made. Tag was not needed, and as the first out of the inning, and it occurs at home plate. Good register of the out there on the fielder's choice by Capitol Hill. Well played by the infield, beginning with Spain, and the toss over to Harper for the first out of the bottom half of the second inning. And that'll bring up Adeline Homburg. Fouls that one straight back for strike 1. Bouncer for ball 1. I was actually way behind in the other game at Major Field. That's a 10-0 game now in the second inning. My feed must have paused at some point. Another bouncer in on Harper, so that'll be ball 2, 2-1. Nowhere to put Homburg here, so a walk would force in a run. Only 1 hit in the inning so far. And that one is up high for ball 3, 3-1. Actually, there were 2 hits in the inning, so that brings them up to 8 here for the game. And there's one high for ball 4, and that will lead to Hughesville's 11th run of the game. Their first in this inning. And Yessi Portillo, the pitcher of record here for Hughesville, and representing the bottom of the order, gets another turn here on Spain, as that one is just outside for ball 1. Bases are loaded here for Portillo. Homburg at first, Wood at second, Grote at third. And now it's one that's cut on. It bounces foul. A lot of English on that one as it was struck. So 1-1 will be our count. That one skips in inside for ball 2, 2-1. You have to expect pitchers who bat are always patient up there and know what to look for here, balls and strikes wise. Portillo offers at one high, settled down at short. The throw to Harper is too high, and that will force another run home. And it's 12-0. Hughesville.
Now batting, first baseman number 3, Reagan Wood. Number 3.
So good play there to field it, but the throw was too high in on Harper. And so with 1 out, the run scores for Hughesville. It's now a 12-0 game. And we're back to the top of the order as Harper has to extend to catch that one. Our bases are still loaded, obviously, here for Reagan Wood, who's enjoying herself a fine morning, I should say. Not afternoon just yet. Count is 1-1 here. Getting her third look at Spain here, and that one is fouled straight up in the air, and it hits off the netting. So no play to be made. That's one too high for ball two, 2-2. Well high again, 3-2, and now a payoff pitch upcoming with the bases loaded here. Catherine Spain does not want to lose wood here, but that one is up high, and it's now a 13-0 game for Hughesville, as another run comes home via the bases loaded walk issued by Catherine Spain. And with still one out here in the bottom of the second inning, Hughesville has plated 3 runs in the frame and now have themselves a 13-0 lead as Peterson is our batter. And that one is popped up straight in the air towards third base, off the glove, and unfortunately could not be fielded clean. All runners move a base, and it's a 14-0 lead here for Hughesville. And Herbert will be our batter.
Number 99, Blake Herbert.
It's 14-0 now, as Hughesville just 1 run away from employing the run rule in the third inning once Capitol Hill gets back in the top half of the third. That one is swung on and missed. Healthy swing there for Herbert, who really wanted to smoke that one. And that one's offered at in the dirt for strike 2. No dirt here, it's all artificial, but close enough. 1-2 pitch, swung on and hit sharply down the left side of the infield. 1 run will score. All runners will hold from there. Hughesville, on their 9th hit of the morning, have plated their 15th run, and with 1 out, we still have the bases loaded. Good piece of 2-strike hitting that time by Herbert, and it will be Page, the batter. Ava Page. Look to keep the carousel moving. There's a call, it's strike 1. So Hughesville has hit the 15-run mark, but still plenty of damage that can be done here as a swing and a miss for strike 2. Puts Page in an 0-2 hole with 1 out. So Spain, who's lost a few batters via the walk here, has a chance. Well ahead here on Page, bounces one in on Harper for ball 1, 1-2. Delivery from Spain well high off the glove of Harper, but runners will hold everywhere, and the count will go to 2-2. And that one too high and inside for ball 3. So Spain, who was up 0-2 in the count, now has to deliver a payoff pitch with the bases loaded. She has walked in 2 runners with the bases loaded in this inning. Here's the pitch, and that one's too high, cannot be offered at by Page, and she gets to take her base, and Hughesville scores another run via the bases loaded walk, and it's 16-0, as we might either see a change here or another visit to the circle to settle down Catherine Spain, who again was ahead 0-2 on the batter, and Page offered at a couple of pitches that were in the strike zone. And this is Bledsoe. So Aubrey Bledsoe
Aubrey Bledsoe.
Again, had that bases clearing inside the park home run in the first inning. One of the big highlights of that 10-run inning for Hughesville. And she cuts under that one, and it's hit second base. And we have a double play issued on the fly out and tag over at second base. And so they get out of the jam, but they do allow 6 more runs, does Capitol Hill. And Hughesville, at the end of 2 complete innings, have themselves a 16-0 lead. We'll step aside and take a break. We'll come back with more 10U softball coming up.
The Staten Island Fairy Hawks are proud to be a sponsor of this year's New York State Little League Championship, because one championship organization deserves another. Come check out another amazing season with us at Staten Island University Hospital Community Ballpark with great ticket and group deals, theme nights, and fireworks displays. Good luck to all of our teams this week from your friends at the Staten Island Fairy Hawks. We'll see you at the game.
We are back here, top half of the 3rd inning. Capitol Hill will need some runs here as we have a 16-0 lead for Hughesville. They had 10 runs in the first and 6 in the second to instill their damage as we get set for innings number 3 and 4 upcoming. Sponsored by Nationwide Bus Charter. Thank our good friends at ShopRite and Nationwide Bus Charter for their incredible support. Can't forget our other sponsors as well. You saw the commercial breaks, but our friends at Faraday Elevator Company, Avarga Construction Company, High Tech Mechanical, Robert Director Associates, and Core 4 Construction. The Staten Island staples that have been very generous here in their support of 10U baseball and softball here that's been played at Great Kills since last weekend, extending into this one as well. We have softball that'll be going on today, tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Today and tomorrow will be pool play, 13 games total in pool play, and then of course we'll have playoffs on Tuesday to determine who gets to play in our Mid-Atlantic and New England championships. And then once the champions are crowned for the Mid-Atlantic and New England, those champions will face off for the Eastern Regional Championship. Emerson, the batter, it's still her first turn, or still Capitol Hill's first turn in the lineup. She takes strike 1, offered by Portillo. That one's a high strike for strike 2. Got her on the low corner and then on the high outside corner as well. And Portillo quickly ahead 0-2 in the count. Dead red, strike 3 call, and on 3 pitches, Emerson is out on strikes.
First baseman number 27, Maggie Lombardo, number 27.
Lombardo will be our batter. Up high, swing and a miss, strike 1. Fouled off, straight back. Another one fouled off. Portillo has had 6 pitches in the inning, and all 6 have been strikes. Of course, that one fouled off. But staying in the strike zone, that's what you do when you're up by 16 runs in a game. And there's one that swung on and missed, strike 2. So Portillo, back-to-back strikeouts here to start off the 3rd inning. And we have 2 away. And Kate Stern represents Capitol Hill's finals attempt here. Try and push across a run here in this 3rd inning. Big swing and a miss, strike 1. Portillo went upstairs, climbed the ladder, and Stern couldn't reach that one. Portillo wanting to work quick and stay fresh. Dead red, strike 2, as that one is swung through. Portillo really starting to find a rhythm, and that's what happens when you're staked to such a big lead as well. Stay in the strike zone. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. And that does it. In a game shortened to just 2.5 innings of play, we go final with Hughesville. 10 runs in the first, 6 in the second, and they end this one via the third inning run rule. They defeat Capitol Hill from Washington, D.C. by a score of 16-0. Great performance here, great opening game for Hughesville, the team from Maryland, of course, making a statement here in this first game. And for Capitol Hill, they'll have to lick their wounds and come back, and a little bit later on, try and get themselves back in the win column and try to finish out the day 1-1 instead of 0-2. But you see the show of sportsmanship there by both teams. That's the best part of these games, folks. But we thank you for joining us here for Game 1. We will be back for Game 2 at approximately 11:20, 11:25. Figure that game will go off. Again, every single game here for this tournament will be on a separate stream. So make sure that you're following all of our streams, all of our games, and all of the teams that we will feature on these streams will be shown in the YouTube description as well. So we thank you for joining us here. You see the final score on your screen. It's Hughesville Little League 16, Capitol Hill Little League 0 in this first game of pool play from Great Kills. You are watching the 10U Softball East Regional Championship Tournament here on the PDF Sports Network. My name is David Pizzuto. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you for Game 2 here on the Senior Minor Field coming up at 11:30.